by miracle of sound. Alright, welcome back to the Shardbreaker podcast. This is episode 5 of Bands of Mourning, the third book in Mistborn Era 2. I am Midnight, your host, and I'm here with Darkness.
Hello.
And Mythic.
That.
And we did chapters 21 through 25 this week. So we're starting with our broadsheet page, which was literally just a continuation of the Nikki Savage story. So she's trying to fight off a man who had stolen a map from her. The man had a strange gun that has runes that start green and turn red. Nikki is able to leech the power from the gun, but the man can reload it. The man swears by shadows and bloody Helmore as he and Nikki struggle over the map, at one point having the man hang out of the gondola. The man eventually falls with half of the map after it rips between them. When Nikki goes down to see if he survived, the man is gone, but there is a white-haired man that offers to tell her a story. Nikki declines to hear the story, though. Nikki then goes home to her cats and reads the letter that was hidden in the map. There's 2 people here. 2 guys here, both world hoppers. Do you guys know who they are? One's easier to recognize than the other.
Oh, because I have no idea.
There's the white-haired man that wants to tell Nikki a story.
Which is Hoyd.
Yeah,
pretty much.
it's Hoyd. And then there's the guy who swears by shadows and has a gun that has green lights that turn red. So we've seen something where green turns red before, but it was a while ago, so you guys might not catch on to what that's a reference to.
Is that the one guy from whatever her name is? The person who does all the history?
Yes, it is Chris's assistant Naz, who's from Threnody. And so it seems like he's using the shades from Threnody as bullets somehow here, because the shades, their eyes are green when they're passive and red when they're hostile coming to kill you. So he's got some sort of like gun that shoots evil ghosts at you.
Shoots dead people.
Yeah, it shoots dead people at you. And yeah, so he obviously wants this map for some reason, because we know he's big on getting like these maps. He's done maps for Chris before in Stormlight and stuff. So yeah, he obviously wanted this map for some reason. And Nikki was like, "Nah, you're not taking my map, dude." But also, are you surprised that Hoyd went up to Nikki? Because usually he only really goes up to, as far as we know, like main characters.
No, this was for the readers.
I mean, when it's a broadsheet, it's just not true, so...
I see. So we start this chapter with Wax's point of view as he launches the airship from the rest of the larger ship. He thinks that this shouldn't work, but somehow it does, as everyone else is storing weight, and the little ship seems to be as light as possible, and even was missing parts of the sides of the walls. The masked man glances down at the rest of the large ship below and gives it a silent prayer before getting the metal cube from Wayne. Once he has it, he presses it against Wax's arm until it buzzes, and then attaches it to the ship. This allows Wax to stop pushing and let the cube power the airship for now. So what do you think about how this little airship is powered by allomancy?
Cool. Especially since, allomancers to these guys are gods, so...
Yeah, it seems like they have very few allomancers and ferrochemists, and so those ones are they're super revered in their society. Mm-hmm.
High majesties.
What do you think, Darkness, about the allomancy powered
I
airship?
think it's way too complicated for me.
It seemed quite complicated to Wax, too. He's like, how the fuck does this work?
I was trying to figure out how it would work, and I gave up.
I think it's kind of like a reverse helicopter, because it has the fan blades on the bottom instead of the top.
That's what I was thinking too.
And then
but then also, how is it going to push the elements? What?
I don't know.
It's pushing the fan, right?
Yeah, it's pushing the fan somehow. I don't fully... They don't fully, clarify how it works, because, Wax doesn't get, a proper explanation. But yeah, somehow him, filling that little allomantic cube up powers the ship.
But, how fast does it have to fucking spin for it to stay up like that with just that one? Is it one fan or multiple fans?
I think it's just one large, fan.
So, how fast does it have to go, and how much fucking allomancy does it use? Because that's insane.
Yeah, well, again, remember, it's they're all, decreasing their weight so that it's, if they were all, full weight and everything, I don't think it would work. It wouldn't fly, is basically.
Wait, what do you mean? They're all decreasing their weight?
Remember, they all have the medallions, they all have the medallions to decrease their weight. So none of them are full weight. Yeah.
I thought it was because Weiss said it was decreasing his weight.
No, but as soon as he finishes here in a second, the guy is like, you need to decrease your weight, freaks out because the ship starts to sink.
Yeah, because he's fat.
Yep.
So I'm assuming the ship can only hold maybe 100, 200 pounds max. So if everyone's not decreasing their weight, then you're kind of just fucked. Yeah, so the ship begins to sink, and the masked man quickly asks Wax to decrease his weight, which he does. The masked man also continues to call Wax by different respectful names, mentioning that apparently he is supposed to use a different title each time he speaks to Wax. Wax then asks for the man's name, and he introduces himself as Alec Neverfar. So what did you think about how reverent Alec is of Allomancers?
Gods. Allomancers are gods.
I mean, we know some of them are.
So after getting Alec's name, Wax jumps out of the small airship. He notes the fan on the bottom of the vehicle as he drops down towards the forest until he finds Steris and the horses. Steris had already packed up all of their things so that they were ready to go. However, Wax tells her to just grab her and Merassi's packs. Wax then grabs Wayne and Melon's packs and then releases the horses before flying Steris up to the airship. Once Steris had an armband, Wax brings their bags up into the ship. Alec asks where they should head, and Wax tells him to head north towards Elendel, until Telsin asks to speak with him. He follows her to the back corner of the ship, passing Wayne, who is leaning out of the ship, and Melon, who is tending to Merassi. Telsin tells Wax that their uncle is heading to the south to find a weapon of the Lord Rulers. Wax mentions the bands of Mourning. He wants to go to Elendel first, but Telsin is insistent that they can't let their uncle find the bands. Wax says he wants to see how Merassi is doing before making a decision. So do you agree the best course of action was to try to stop Edward from getting the bands of Mourning, or do you think it would have been better if they'd gone to Elendel first?
Probably going to Elendel first.
Honestly, I agree. I thought they were gonna head to Elendel first, but you know.
Nope. It was decided Merassi was good enough. She wasn't in dire enough wounds to have to go back to Elendel. So we switch to Merassi's point of view as she stares down at the ground far below, wondering if this was how Harmony saw the world. She thinks about how survivorists consider Harmony, which is as a god but not one that interferes. Instead, if you want something done for you, you pray to the survivor, who had survived death itself. She then focuses back on Melon, who had liquefied part of her arm and was using it to work on Merassi's insides. Merassi
Which is crazy.
Yeah, Merassi's a little disturbed by the whole thing.
To be honest, almost as crazy as fucking eating a part of somebody to heal them.
Yeah, so that they
Really
don't
crazy.
reject like the flesh that she makes for her.
That's completely valid. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
But yeah, so Merassi asks if she'll die, and Melon says that she will. However, when Wax comes over and says she successfully patched Merassi's intestines and grafted some skin by replicating some of Merassi's flesh that she ate. She states that Merassi will heal up fine, and Merassi gets annoyed that Melon had told her she was going to die, when Melon just meant that Merassi wasn't immortal. So yeah, what did you think about how Melon is able to heal Merassi? She's able to like patch her up with like flesh and like ligaments that she makes herself. She just used like some cat intestine that she just had hanging around in her side herself at some point.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this is weird.
Honestly, crazy. Imagine what like could actually be done if like Conjure actually pulled up and used their shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They'd make great surgeons.
Then again, how would the public take them eating people, you know?
You know
I mean,
what's
just a
crazy is
little
that-
bit.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that I thought when she said, yes, you're going to die, I was like, yeah, we're all dying. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what Melon meant, was like, yeah, you're human, you're dying.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I knew what they were talking about. I was like, yeah, okay. So I wasn't surprised when they were like, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Merassi's like, and she's like, you meant today. No, you're fine. You're fine. You're gonna die eventually.
Human, of course you're gonna die. Come on, you're dying. We're all dying of a terminal illness known as life.
And Merassi's like, I will strangle this Condra.
Yeah, good luck with that.
She's like, I won't kill her, but I'll still strangle her. So Wax and Merassi then plan, Wax wondering if they should head back to Elendel to return Raylur's spike. However, Merassi had overheard Wax's conversation with Telsin, and Melon mentions that the spike will be fine for a bit outside of a body. Although she isn't happy that Wax even knows that the power degrades over time, and states that Spook never should have written that book on hemalurgy. Merassi then says that they should go after Edwin, because if the bands of Mourning are real, then he would be immortal and powerful as the Lord Ruler had been. Plus, they have a map that Raylur drew of basically where this temple should be. What did you think about how upset Melon is about Spook's book? She's like, I hate that he wrote that.
That they were what?
That he wrote the hemalurgy book. Melon's upset about the hemalurgy book that Spook wrote.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's... I was gonna say that's valid, but also, technically, that information's been out there, right?
Yeah, it's been out there, but also, like, I think technically, like, over hundreds of years, it would probably be, like, more mythological, and because of how difficult hemalurgy is to do without knowing what you're doing, I'm assuming, like, the Conjurer, like, yeah, we don't want
So is there not
know.
like a description on hemalurgy with the book or something?
In Spook's book there is, but Harmony did not write anything about hemalurgy in his books.
Okay. I wonder why.
I don't know, apparently he decided it was better that people didn't know about hemalurgy. And then Spiegel was like, nah, I disagree. I'ma write this book out.
Of course he decided that it would be better for them not to know. It's not like he decides any other fucking factors.
So Waxon tells Marassi to go talk to Alex, since he thinks she'll get better answers than he will, considering how Alex seems so reverent of him. As she approaches him, she notices that he isn't as relaxed as she first thought, but instead seems to be cold and trying to hug himself to get warm. He mentions how he had thought their people were barbarians, but that she had saved him and was friends with someone who had metallic powers. Marassi just replies that most barbarians probably don't consider themselves barbaric. She then shows him the map, and he mentions how there were over 100 of his people with the ship, but only 15 masks in the torture room. Marassi states they could have gotten the map from one of his people that was tortured and killed, and brought the others to help find the temple. So what did you think about Alec considering the people of the basin to be barbarians?
Okay. She's not wrong. They are barbaric.
Would he consider them like as important as Wax if he found out that they were actually Metalborn, I guess?
I think he would probably only revere the Metalborn people. Like, yeah, he might be more reverent of like Marassi and Wayne and stuff as well, if he knew about them. But like, I think he still considers their like society to be kind of more like barbaric than his own.
Yeah.
He's also very sassy with Wax later which I love. He's like, oh yes, you're so powerful and wise, but also like you're really fucking stupid right now, but I won't say it that way because I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, well, especially when he talks about like combining everything.
Yeah, with all the medallions and stuff.
Yes, because we never thought of that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we never would have tried that. Never tried that all of these years. And Wax is like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I caught on, don't worry.
So Alec begins changing the ship's direction, saying that he needs to stop Edwin when they mention him going to the temple. Wax then asks about who the Sovereign is, and Alec states that that is the man they worshipped as a god who came to them 330 years ago when the land froze. Wax and Marassi are confused at first about the land freezing, but Marassi then mentions how south of the final empire there had been boiling oceans because it had gotten too hot closer to the equator. Wax agrees that the people there must have adapted, and then when Harmony fixed the world, it got much colder and hard for them to handle. Alec continues that this...
What?
I thought someone said something. Maybe it's just a noise in the background. Alec continues that the Sovereign came 10 years after the land froze and taught them how to use the metal mines that store heat. Alec states that this is how the 5 peoples survived. Alec wears the warming one for a moment before reluctantly switching back to the one that allows him to speak to them. After a bit of explanation about how the medallions work, Wax realizes that the inner ring of each medallion is nigrosil, which stores investiture. A ferrochemist who stores investiture can then give that metal mine to anyone to use, which then allows them to use the other metal of the outer ring to store whichever ability that metal allows. Marassi and Wax also argue a bit over whether the Lord Ruler could have survived to help these people. So what do you think about the Lord Ruler supposedly coming and helping these people 10 years after Harmony remade the world?
I don't think he actually did, so I think somebody else did.
10 years after?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the Lord Ruler.
So yeah, I had a little note here of, if you remember from Mistborn's Secret History, the Lord Ruler specifically goes into the Beyond. He does not stick around like Kelsier does. So
that's what I knew it was the Lord Ruler.
Yeah, so it's impossible for it to be the Lord Ruler, but obviously like Marassi and Wax wouldn't know that. So who do you think actually has been helping the masked people then? Do you think it's anyone we know, or do you think it's someone else?
Either Harmony or Spook.
I'm gonna go with Spook or Kelsier.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about Kelsier, to be honest. Yeah, Kelsier's a god, so good definitely.
How would Kelsier have gotten to the physical realm, though? Because the whole thing was, at the end of Mistborn's Secret History, he tells Spook that, like, you need to help me, like, figure my shit out. So you think he figured it out in 10 years, so he was able to get a physical body?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he stole a body. 100%.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't really need a physical body to have Spook help him out.
Yeah, but it was difficult to talk to Spook, and the way Alec talks about him sounds like there was definitely like a physical person that they were. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but they make it sound like it was a physical person that came to them.
Is that really would that really be a shock if you were wrong? I feel like you're always wrong.
Wow.
But like I'm saying, it doesn't have to be him in the physical body. He could just be talking to someone and do his work for him.
That's true. Yeah, he could have spiked someone and then basically tell them what to say and do.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess if you want to tell me that I'm wrong, you know.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that like.
Tell him he's wrong. Tell him he's wrong. Go ahead.
I'm not telling him he's wrong.
You do it all the time.
Oh, she does, doesn't she?
Alec then mentions that he's seen some medallions with 3 metal rings, but 4 metal ring attempts have always failed. It also doesn't work to wear multiple medallions at once, as they seem to interfere with each other. Alec also mentions, with some prompting from Wax, that they were searching for the bands of mourning, which the Sovereign had hidden in a temple in the mountains. A storm had blown their ship out of the mountains and into that village where the set eventually found them. Apparently, Alec's people had decided the Sovereign had left them the challenge to find the bands, so they had searched the mountains.
Okay, that's normal.
Eventually, people thought it was just a myth, but recently a ship had seemed to find it, but the majority of the crew had been killed by a blizzard. Wax and Marassi agree they are going to go look for the temple. So what do you think about these medallions that can give multiple powers?
They give what?
Multiple powers.
I heard, what do you think of these medallions that give bald people powers?
How many bald people have we met in these stories, Darkness?
we met bald people, right?
How many, though?
I don't know, that's a lot.
I think most of the Ardents of Stormlight Archive are bald.
Most of the what?
Ardents.
Well, the Elantrians were also bald, right?
Yeah, I think all their hair fell out. Zeth is also bald in Stormlight Archive. And Lightsong's brother in Warbreaker was bald, or at least balding.
Died. Nobody cares about him. Except Lightsong, of course.
The medallions, medals, whatever the fuck it is, they're pretty cool. Yeah. They're also dangerous.
It's too bad he doesn't have one that gives him both the warmth and the connection one. Then he could be warm and talking to them at the same time.
I have a feeling that that's tied to, like, it depends on what, like, category they're from.
You think they have to be, like, related medals in order for them to work together?
In a way, yes.
Okay. And then we move to Chapter 22, where we continue with Marassi's point of view as they travel towards the mountains to the south. Marassi was surprised to see maps of the basin that Alec had, meaning that their people had been watching them in these airships, likely at night, for quite a while. She spends most of the travel time speaking to Alec as he talks about how the bands of mourning had a great amount of power stored in them. He also mentions his land where everyone wears masks, although some wear them in different ways. Alec's people change their masks depending on their mood and profession. They don't change them every day, but about as often as someone may change their hairstyle. Alec then mentions a different group called the Hunters, who are given a mask at childhood and then change them when they become adults. And eventually their masks grow into their skin. Another group, called the Fallen, wears plain masks unless they did something to earn a more ornate one, and they used to be kings before the land froze. Alec then continues on about some gods that are not the same as the sovereign that they worship. Two of those gods Marassi relates to preservation and ruin. Bringing it back to Eotil from Stormlight Archive, who we know is a masked Scadrian. I believe that she is part of the Hunter group because Shalon at a few points mentions that she has like that half mask, so it shows her mouth, which is indicative of the Hunters.
Is it the captain? Is it the captain?
No. Eotil is the Ghost Blood working with Maraise on Roshar.
I was just wondering because they did talk about like a captain or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I think the captain that's with Alec is from his people's group, not the Hunters.
Oh, okay.
Also, this technically happens after Stormlight Archive.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Eotil, Shalon also mentions how Eotil's mask looks like it's growing into her skin at the sides, which is how you know that she was part of the group called the Hunters. So yeah, she's part of the group where like their masks just like never come off, which is why she's constantly threatening Shalon, if you try and take my mask off, I will kill you.
Probably hurt too, to be honest.
Yeah, probably would. You'd be ripping your flesh off your face. But yeah, so what do you think about these different cultures of the masked peoples?
Just take the mask off, guys.
It reminds me kind of what's his name? Did we say his name already?
No, I don't
Who
know.
the fuck is Seth?
Oh, Zeth? What about Zeth?
That's the one that
the guy who got killed by Kaladin, right? Or not? Yeah, Kaladin.
Yeah, he gets killed and then he gets brought back by one of the heralds and given Nightblood.
Yeah.
He was the
He reminds me
assassin
of
in white.
It reminds me of him because, like, mostly because of the religion stuff, you know?
Mm.
Because he was like, oh, like, these fucking stone people or whatever the fuck that.
Stonewalkers, yeah, he calls them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks
Like,
they're
they
all
have their own
barbarians too.
Yeah. They have their own thing. And then, like, these people have their masks.
So Alec then goes on about how, as a pilot, he's expected to be well-educated and almost noble-like. The conversation dies briefly, though, when Alec mentions one of his friends who'd been tortured and killed by the Set. He wonders if he'll ever be able to get home, as he explains to Marassi that he needs a special metal called Et metal to power the ship. Marassi does not know about this metal, and Alec explains how if you get it wet, it explodes, and that it powers the elementic cubes as well. So I want to note here that Et metal is not a real metal. It is a fake metal that Brandon made up. So do you think Et metal is an allomantic or ferrochemical metal, or do you think it's just being used in a more scientific way here?
Scientific. scientific.
You think it's scientific?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's combustion
I
or some
agree.
shit. Yeah.
Also, why do you think Brandon has decided to make up a medal instead of use one that's already out there, like already like in our world?
Because he's an artist.
Because they make it up in the story too.
Do you think Alec's lying about the medal?
Hell yeah.
Or
Okay.
just doesn't know what it's actually called.
Yeah, that works too.
So Alec then asks if the fuck was that?
Okay.
Alec then asks if Marassi's people will really let his people leave with their technology and not demand more. Marassi mentions that maybe they can trade some information, although Alec also asks what is going to happen with the bands of Mourning because they belong to his people. He doubts that Wax will just let him leave with them, though. Alec also mentions that the hunters who had gone to find the temple had wanted to destroy it, and although the people who had come back said they hadn't succeeded, he couldn't be sure. Marassi then decides to try the connection medallion when Alec warms himself for a moment, but it doesn't work. Marassi switches it back to Alec, and he explains that it has a blank connection, which means it will connect to the land they are in, which is why it lets him speak her language but does not let her speak his. Waxham points out that they are close to the correct mountains and that he can see a light, meaning that his uncle has started his expedition. So what do you think about how, like, when there's no connection with something, you can just, like, speak the language of, like, the kind of, like, region you're in?
Cool.
Well, it's more like it's connection with the surrounding, right?
Yeah, so it's, like, connecting to, like, the area and the peoples nearby more so than just, like, a specific, like, group of people.
It makes sense.
But it also doesn't just, like, translate anything into your own language.
Yeah, because he says a word that he's like, oh, that doesn't translate.
Yeah. I think it was the et medal. Et medal didn't translate. And she's like, we must just not have that medal. So then we go to chapter 23, where we switch to Wayne's point of view, as he had wakened from a dream where he had been king of the dogs. Telson asks Alec if they could go lower, but Alec didn't want them to be heard. Wayne glances out the side of the airship where Telson was looking and sees people trudging through waist-high snow with lanterns. Wax uses a spyglass and notes that he's fairly certain his uncle is down there in the group. Telson begs Wax to let her shoot Edwin, but Wax refuses and says they need to send him to trial for his crimes, not kill him. Wayne is happy that Wax was reasonable and he moves around the ship, but he accidentally kicks one of the bags out the side of the ship as he tries to get around Telson. The bag hits one of the men below. Wax tells Alec to fly the ship in the direction of the people below are heading. So what do you think about Wayne accidentally letting Edwin know that they are flying towards the fortress?
What's the question?
What do you think about Wax accidentally, like, kicking this bag out of the ship, which, like,
Bro, I was dying when he did that shit. I was also, like, upset because, like, dude.
It's like, Wayne, please.
But yeah, but like it was funny because didn't they say it landed on someone?
Yeah, like hit someone down below.
Wouldn't that have like essentially killed the person?
It depends how high up they are, but yeah, it potentially like seriously injured or killed that person.
That's great. Lovely.
What did you think, Mythic?
Yeah, basically the same thing. I thought it was hilarious, and then I thought, man, wouldn't that have killed that person?
Yeah, just splatted some dude down there. Too bad it wasn't the uncle. Although I think Telson would be pretty upset if like a random bag killed the uncle instead of her.
Yeah, should have thrown her instead.
Just throw the sister out the airship.
She probably would have went down fucking like shooting.
As they
I still
fly.
don't trust her.
Okay. As they fly away from the group trudging through the snow, Wax states that he sees something, although Wayne can't see whatever it is. Alec replies that he'll land the ship and tells them all to hold on to something. They jolt as they land, causing Milan's lantern to go out. When she relights it, Wayne notices that one of the wings of the ship is bent at its hinges and it's shoved into a snowbank. Wayne then gets out of the airship and glances at the stone fortress that was built into the mountain. It was only 1 story high, and Wayne felt that it had good style. Marassi climbs out of the airship next, sinking into the snow as she stops filling the weight metal mine. Wax tells them to get ready to search for the bands, and also has Alec take the elementic cube out of the ship so none of Suit's men can take it. Marassi also quickly changes in the ship as Steris hands out their packs. Once they are done getting their stuff from the ship, Wax pushes on the ship to bury it into the snowbank even more. So what do you think about Wax trying to hide the airship?
Bane, yeah. I'm just surprised that they don't have like, super powerful, like compacting it or something, make it into like a briefcase or something.
Wait. It had metal in it, right?
It has some metal components, yeah. Wayne basically, or Wax was basically saying like he hopes that the Allomancers don't like search for it or see it.
No, in this world, if it's made of metal, it's not getting hidden.
Yeah, I think his uncle does say later, like, yeah, we have your airship, like you're not leaving here, you're trapped with me. So as
they leave the cube there too?
No, Wax specifically told Alec to take the cube so that Suit couldn't like use the airship.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the Suit can't use the airship, but they still have the airship. Like just having the cube by itself isn't going to get you anywhere. So as they trek through the snow to the fortress, Wayne goes up to Alec and begins telling him how he is also an Allomancer and should be treated as a god like Alex treats Wax. However, Alec doesn't respond as he has switched to the warmth metal mine so he doesn't freeze in the snow. Wayne then notices another building in the snow which turns out to be the airship of the hunters that have been sent to destroy the fortress. They also see a dozen or so corpses frozen in the snow. Wax and Wayne then go back to join the group, noticing that Alec had seen the ship but hadn't fully approached after seeing the corpses. Wayne mentions that Wax's sister is a bit intense, and Wax just replies that his sister has been through a lot and he'll have to have her see some physicians once they get back to Ellendale. So do you believe that Taliesin would actually go see like a psychiatrist or something?
No.
She gonna go see a therapist, or is she gonna be like,
Not
I
happening.
am fine?
I'll just kill all the men, and then she won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, she's like, I won't need therapy if I can just kill them all.
Which is completely valid. That's how you handle trauma.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what she needs? She needs some Tetris. You guys heard about how like scientists have like proven that Tetris helps with PTSD?
Wait, what helps with PTSD?
Playing Tetris.
Tetris.
Yeah. There was a scientific study that like people with PTSD who played Tetris like had less symptoms of PTSD.
Technically, wouldn't that just work with anything though? As long as it keeps your interest.
I think a little bit, but I think it was like the repetitive, like, I don't know, there was something about Tetris specifically that was like really good for them. Yeah, if you ever go through a traumatic incident, just play some Tetris, you'll be fine. Apparently that's how that
Lovely.
works.
Really?
So Taliesin just needs to play some Tetris, and she'll be good. Anyway, so they get closer to the fortress, and Wayne notes that there is a statue by the steps leading up to it. As they get closer, Wayne notes that the statue is a man wearing a long coat and holding a spear in one hand. The man also has a spike through one of his eyes, like the coin that Wax had been given. Morassi wonders if the spear represents the one he used to kill Kelsier. Wax also notes that the spear the statue has is made of aluminum. So what do you think about this statue of the man that's also on the coin that Hoyd gave Wax?
So I couldn't figure out who it was.
No?
Were you supposed to know?
I think it's supposed to be the Sovereign.
Who the fuck is the sovereign?
The guy that they think is a Lord Ruler. The guy who helped the masked people.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Kelsier.
Kelsier, Spook, whatever you guys thought it was.
how did Kelsier die again?
He got his
speared to death, and then
got
fucking smacked his fucking face off.
Yeah, his face got bitch slapped off, and he got speared through like the chest or something. Because that's why Morassi at one point was like, "Oh, this must be like the spear he used to kill Kelsier."
The greatest fight of any of these books ever.
It was a really good fight. See, and then just suddenly, instantly, just like he does like the coolest fight against the Inquisitors, and then the Lord Ruler comes and just bitch slaps him to death.
Walks up.
So the statues of somebody with a spear through the eye?
No, they're holding a spear, and it sounds like based on when Wayne takes the spearhead that it's like point down. So they're like holding a spear, and they have a spike through their eye.
Spike through the eye. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Nah. That's like I said. Is Kelsier talking to someone?
So you think, yeah, the spike through the eyes representing how they can communicate with him. So it's like Kelsier's like minion.
The statue is of his minion.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, if he's spiked, it makes sense that if Kelsier could be like speaking to him and telling him how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's actually one of Spook's kids. Because like Spook and Kelsier were hanging out, and then Spook sends his kid off to be spiked and hang out with Kelsier some more.
Kelsier demanded his firstborn child.
Oh my god, he did. That'd be hilarious.
Really would.
So as the rest of the group heads through the broken open door of the fortress, Wayne begins kicking at the head of the spear. Once he knocks it free, he takes it and thinks he could use the money to send to the inventor girl Sophie. He also knows that it's only the spearhead that's aluminum, not the rest of the spear. The rest of the spear is made of wood. He then hurries to catch up with the rest of the group inside of the fortress. He sees Wax and the others inspecting some murals that match the ones Raylur had drawn in his notebook. They also see some frozen bodies farther down the hallway. So what did you think about Wayne taking the aluminum spearhead to be able to sell to fund the inventor girl that from the, I think that was from the last book.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, this is the girl where she was like, "It's your fault my father died." He got like PTSD trauma flashbacks.
Right.
Because he was like impersonating someone that like apparently had undermined her father's work. And so now he's been like giving her a bunch of money to fund her inventions because he feels bad.
Crazy.
Wayne's just becoming like a fucking angel investor. He's like, let me just give all these inventor people my money. Just have money. I don't need it. So Alec places some metal, likely et metal, from the allomantic cube and puts it into a spot in the wall. He then pulls a lever and it causes dim lights on the wall to start glowing. Wax then gets Alec to switch to his connection metal mind and confirms that the dead men here were hunters. They had masks that showed their mouths, and the sides of the mask melded into their skin. Wax determines the hunters betrayed their friends that had wanted to destroy the fortress, and instead they had tried to get the bands of mourning for themselves. However, they got mostly killed by the traps, and the rest of them escaped with the skimmer from the bigger ship, and lied about the blizzard. He also is correct about those hunters that returned having disappeared, likely having been executed after their people found out what they did. So what do you think about the hunters here having tried to get the bands of mourning?
They're the ones that were talking about how they got betrayed and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole situation kind of confused me. So, like, where'd they come from? Was this from the...
So this is the story that Alec told. He said that, like, remember there had been, like, all these myths about, like, the bands of mourning in this temple, but it had been, like, 300 years and no one had found it. And then the ship of these hunters, they're like, they had found the temple, and they're like, we need to destroy it because, like, I forget what Alec's reasoning was, but they were basically like, we need to destroy the temple, no one's allowed to have the bands of mourning. But then it seems like a group of the hunters from that group turned on the ones that wanted to destroy the temple and said, nah, we actually want the bands of mourning for ourselves. So they killed their friends and tried to get to the bands of mourning, but died due to the traps. And then some of them escaped, and they were the ones who told everyone else, like, hey, we found the temple. And that's how Alec has this map to get to the temple.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, wait. Technically, would this guy's what's his name again?
Alec?
Yeah. Would he
Baldwin?
and his people consider the hunters barbaric as well, or are they at the same level?
No, I think everyone who uses masks are considered to be civilized to them. It's people who don't wear masks that are barbaric.
It's funny because they're not even above their fucking level if they be acting like that.
Also, do you think so? Considering at the end of these chapters, like they're told, like, hey, the bands of mourning are just gone. Like, they found this broken case. Do you think that some of these hunters were the ones who succeeded in getting the bands of mourning, or do you think they didn't? They all just died here or escaped.
No, they're dead.
Yeah, I think they're all dead.
Okay.
Every last one of them.
Except for Eotil, who went to Roshar.
Nope, she died.
So
Wait, you mean
Wax,
like the hunters in general, or just this group?
I was talking about this
Roshar, me?
group, but
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Just
think he
I
meant
feel
you,
like
I
the
think.
whole group is gone. Like done.
No. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But it was all the hunters, and they're all dead now.
Okay.
What if she
Uh,
killed them as her like goodbye?
Yeah, so she could be the only one left.
I see. So Waxon states that he wants to continue looking for the bands, with Taliesin insisting she comes with him and not play watch it with Steris, Wayne, and Marassi. Wax also wants Melan and Alec to come with him. Alec thinks it's crazy to try and move forward with these traps, but Melan shows off how she can activate the traps and be fine, although she does mention that it's going to ruin her clothing. Wayne suggests that she go naked, which Alec admits he wouldn't mind, but Wax insists that he'll just buy her new clothing, and that she should stay clothed. So what do you think about Melan agreeing to use herself to set off all of the traps?
Oh, bad for her. Like, yeah, you want to do it or whatever, but like, you don't have to do it just because you can.
She gets really fucked up. Like, I feel really bad for her. Her nice green crystal, like, skeleton gets, like, destroyed.
I know, I got so sad when she was like, oh, my hand is fucked.
Her hand was fucked. Her, like, one of her legs was, like, snapped into. There was, like, all sorts of broken bones. What do you think, Mythic, about Melan offering to set off all the traps for them?
They turned off their pain receptors. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, she can still feel sad, though, that her skeleton's getting broken.
Nah, turn off that too.
I see. So we then get chapter 24, where we switch to Marassi's point of view, as she watches the faint lantern light in the distance, showing that Edward's men were getting closer. She just hopes that Wax can find the bands before Edward gets here. She then takes out Rilur's spike, considering how it had been created by taking someone's life, but how the conjure had been so helpful and needed even though they were created from death. She also considers how the Lord Ruler had been a horrible person, but had come to save Alec's people. Marassi then wanders over to Steris, who is writing some notes. Steris asks Marassi how useless she is, as she understands that she does not have any useful skills to add to the group. Marassi tells Steris that she also felt completely useless for the first year of knowing Wax, but Steris replies that Marassi is wrong to think she's upset about how useless she is. Instead, she just acknowledges it and wants to make a list of ways to improve herself. Steris then shows Marassi a graph where she had put everyone's usefulness, Wax and Melan at 100, Marassi at 83, Wayne at 75, and Steris at 7. So what do you think about Steris, like, calling herself useless, but, like, not considering it, like, a bad thing? She's just like, I'm just being realistic, like, I'm not good in this situation.
She knows her place.
Yep.
I'm not even like trying to be mean or anything like that.
100%.
But like, she's not
Only everybody would know their
experiencing
place.
any elementic powers,
Yeah, she's like, I'm being realistic. She's like, I would have been good if, like, the situation was like political, like all these things, but like I'm not good at like shooting people and like
Right.
sneaking into places. Like that's not
That
my
doesn't mean
skill
she
set.
can't learn.
Yeah, I mean that's what she says afterwards. She's like, I'm gonna learn. I just need to know how bad it is first and what I need to work on. Also, do you agree with Steris's rankings of each of the members of the group?
Agree with what?
How Steris
Ranking.
ranked everyone in the group. So she ranked Wax and Melan at 100, Marassi at 83, Wayne at 75, and Steris at 7 on a scale of like 0 to 100 in usefulness.
No.
Where does she rank
No,
herself?
that's wrong.
She ranked herself at 7.
You.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you think she
'Cause
should
first
be?
of all, I feel like she herself needs to be higher. Not higher than them, but just higher in general.
You think maybe she should be in like the 10s or 20s?
She's just self-deprecating at this point.
Yes. Also, Wayne needs to be higher than Marassi.
You think Wayne's better than Marassi?
Yes.
What do you think, Mythic? Do you think Wayne or Marassi should be the higher of the two?
I think they should be equal. They're both Khandra.
I see.
First of all, I do agree. Wayne is a Khandra.
Why is Marassi a Khandra?
I don't know.
Well, technically she's part Khandra now, right?
I guess. I guess. She's got some Khandra intestines.
Yep. So she's gonna become the next Khandra for sure.
I thought, considering your love of Marassi, you'd be being like, Marassi needs to be at 100.
Marcy's not that good. I like her because she's a marksman, but she's not that good.
She's not a 100. She's not Khandra
No.
level like Milan.
I mean, I think Wayne should be off.
You know,
I think Wayne should be 100 if Milan is, because they're both Khandra. But I think it's just they haven't noticed his innate abilities just yet.
Do you agree that Wax should be at 100 with Milan?
Yes, Wax is definitely up there for sure.
What do you think, Darkness?
I feel like this is gonna be so bad. This is gonna be so bad. My rankings are different.
Okay.
All right, rank them all. Go for it.
I want to put Milan at the top.
Okay. Like a full 100 or in the 90s?
In usefulness, 100.
Yeah. Okay. So Milan's
The
staying where
thing
she
is-
is.
The thing is, I don't trust her right now, and I don't know why. I just don't trust her. Okay.
Interesting.
Even after all she's done, I don't trust her. For some reason, I'm like triggered. You know, like I'm like,
Okay.
this is like she's done something.
Okay.
She's done a lot, so.
My suspicions are on like high alert right now for her.
Okay.
Okay. So right now, keep an eye on her.
Mhm.
She's still at 100. I feel like Wayne should be after.
Okay, you think Wayne should be second?
Yes.
Where would you put him at? The
I feel like-
90s, the 80s?
I put him at 90. Like a little, no, like high 90.
High 90? Oh, damn. Okay, like 97 or something?
And then I would put Wax at low 90.
Okay.
And then Marassi can be like wherever the fuck she wants, like 70, 80.
Okay. And you said Steris in like the 10s or 20s or something?
That should be a solid fucking 40.
Okay. Okay.
Only because she's limiting herself because she's like, oh, I can't do certain stuff. No, but you can work around it and you can do even more stuff. Like, just because... sorry.
To be fair, she remembered to pack a bunch of Wax's stuff. So, like, who knows what Wax would have had to work with if Steris hadn't packed for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she literally thinks of everything and, like, she can prepare.
She's
These
the
other
brains of
people
the
are not going to
operation.
be that prepared. They're so ready to just go full on in, impulsive. She's literally, like, double checking, triple checking her shit.
All right. So in terms
That's
of our
usefulness. Like, maybe it's not power, but it's usefulness.
I mean, it's not based on power. She said it was based on usefulness.
Right.
I'm
so why the fuck is
assuming-
she so low?
Just because I think she just doesn't, because she's got no experience in this. She's just considering herself like not very useful. I think also she's probably putting Wayne lower just because him and her just don't get along. I think she's probably like his like reckless stupidity just like lowers him for her. Like kicking the bag out the fucking airship, she was probably like, yeah, put him down like 10 points.
That's valid, but also he probably took down a guy.
Yeah, but we don't know if it was a useful guy. Like if he had taken out the uncle, that would have been great.
No, because then the fucking sister would have blasted like everyone.
Also, for our two new members, Telson and Alec, where would you guys rank them?
Oh my god, I
Usefulness.
love him though.
You liked Alec? I like Alec too.
I would put him at an 80.
Where would you put Alec?
High 80.
Okay. Where would you put Alec, Mythic, in terms of
2.
usefulness? Oh, come on! He
2.
powers the airship. He's got like the metal like.
He's got
metal mine
information.
stuff. He's got information. He got them here.
He's not useful at all. They could have done that without him.
Yeah.
He's a waste. He's a
Okay.
waste of skin.
I'm gonna put his sister
Telson, yeah.
at like a 70.
A 70? Damn.
Only because right now at where she's at. Only
Mhm.
because in my eyes, all she is a sacrificial lamb, like a little suicide person who
I
can
feel
like.
I feel like I would put Taliesin at like a 30 because like although she probably is like she's potentially like really good and scrappy, like how just like rage filled and like impulsive she is, I feel like lowers her usefulness because she's not thinking.
No, but that's the point though. You can work around it and use her as bait, and
Where
that's
would
the way I'm seeing it. That's why I didn't put her at a lower
okay.
area.
Where would you put Taliesin Mythic?
Yeah, somewhere close to the same thing, 70, 80s.
Okay.
It's only because like so she's rage filled, right? And
Yes.
she wants revenge. That's gonna drive someone even past their normal limits, you know.
She's
So
basically
I'm
a
saying like,
barbarian. Just raging.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's Steris' little usefulness graph. So Marassi then asks Steris why she came along, and Steris says that at first she thought this adventure would be mainly political, and that she could be helpful with that. But the reason she came after they left New Saran was because she enjoyed the fire in Wax and how being around him made her feel completely upended. Marassi realizes Steris is actually in love with Wax, and Steris admits it's true. Steris asks if Marassi wants to find love, but she says she doesn't. So what do you think about Steris having fallen in love with Wax?
What was the question?
What do you think about Steris having fallen in love with Wax when this was like originally like an arranged marriage type thing?
I mean, as soon as he lifted her up, it was over, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That first time in the first book where he like went flying with her and she was like, "Oh."
Yeah. Oh, I'm in love. Love at first flight.
Yep. So you guys aren't surprised.
No,
Not at all.
What do you think about Marassi saying that she's like not really interested in finding someone?
she
Feel like
still
that's
wants him.
untrue.
So Marassi then goes back over to Wayne, who restores her faith in her judgment of people by asking if sisters ever get sexy with one another. Which, great, Wayne. Thank you for that. Marassi then
Yeah. Wayne asking the proper questions.
Marassi then notes that the lanterns are still quite far away, but Wayne replies that he thinks Edward had ditched the lanterns after knowing that his group had been spotted. Marassi then scans the distance and notices a group in the shadows moving much closer. As she is about to go to get Wax, Wayne points out that there's a person even closer to them with a flag with an X on it. So what were your first thoughts about this person with the flag approaching?
It's an enemy, which I was right, so.
Did you think it was going to be like a trap? Did you figure it was going to be the uncle, or do you think it was going to be someone else?
I didn't think it was going to be the uncle.
I didn't think it was the uncle either.
Yeah.
It's an adventure group looking to trade.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And maybe they'll get attacked, you know. Honestly, best choice we've ever done in D&D.
Gosh. My poor
Just
little
attack our
adventuring group.
NPCs. Yeah, just attack those NPCs. And then after we've, attacked and got all of the stuff from them, then somebody decides that they're going to put a curse on them. Yep. Great. Love it. They're never showing up again. They're dead.
Yeah, they're not going to show up again.
They're totally dead. There's no way they show back up again. They're dead.
We then
We
switch.
should have just
They're
told
not as
them.
good as us.
Who would find out?
God, Lathander would have found out.
Yeah, well, Lathander needs to, let me live my life.
You're the one choosing to follow a good god.
No, but there's no such thing as good and evil in this. Okay, Lathander has done some evil things in his lifetime.
You don't know that.
I do actually. I'm a lore historian.
We switch back to Wax's point of view as he helps Melon up out of a pit. Her clothing was already in tatters, and she even had some broken bones that she'd been trying to hold together with ligaments. She had turned off her nerves so she didn't feel pain, and Wax felt bad about how much damage her skeleton was taking. He also felt that something was wrong about this long hallway of traps, but couldn't quite place what it was. Wax then mentions that he thinks he had figured out the pattern of the traps. He correctly guesses the next two, but instead of a pit trap being the third, a block of liquid falls down. Wax thinks it used to be acid, causing Milan to stare at it silently for a moment, but not telling Wax why. They come to a wall with some strange circles drawn on it, but Alec doesn't understand it, so they begin heading back to the rest of the group for help figuring out the puzzle. So what did you think about the amount of damage Milan was taking in order to set up all these traps?
I mean, is it really a big deal? They can just put themselves back together after this whole thing's over.
That's rude as foot. Absolutely not. I would have lost a fucking limb for this girlie.
You think Wayne's gonna be upset when you
Yeah,
see
I'm
how fucked up
surprised
Milan
Wayne.
is?
Yeah, I'm surprised Wayne isn't losing a limb for her, but
Well, he was back keeping guard with Marassi. Also, what do you think about this acid trap? Do you think it was specifically made for Khandra, or did it just happen that it was
No.
also there?
No, specifically made for Khandra.
I definitely think it was specifically made for Khandra too.
Yeah. Meilon had like like a traumatic
moment.
reaction. She was like,
Yeah.
she's like, if that hadn't frozen, that would have murdered me. I would have actually died. She had a moment where she like was thinking about the fact that she could have actually been killed for once.
Those pits are scary for her too.
Yeah, I think she's having like PTSD flashbacks about like the pits from back in the Final Empire where they were like imprisoned people.
Yeah. Well, Contra.
Yeah, they imprisoned. Sorry, yeah, Contra. But yeah, because she's like, yeah, they like actually scare me. Because she's like, I don't know what's down there. Because I think also they used to fill those pits with acid to like kill Contra if they were like and stuff like that. So yeah, she's having some trauma. So as they walk back, Telson speaks to Wax about how she feels she never truly grew up and figured out her life. She says that it isn't just because she was kidnapped by Edwin either, but just sometimes she feels about herself. Wax doesn't truly agree, but goes along with it to make her feel better. She says that being here and finding the bands will help move society forward, which will help her feel like she's accomplished something. Wax says it might destroy society, but Telson insists that nothing that moves things forward is bad, even if it leaves them behind. So what do you think about Telson's little, like, heart-to-heart with Wax here?
You know, for not being the planet that technically needs the most fucking mental health support, this is pretty bad, you know?
100%.
I like how she's like, don't you feel like you've never accomplished anything? And Wax is like, yeah, sure. Definitely felt like that. He's just in his head just being like, yeah, I don't relate to this at all. So as they continue back through the activated traps, Wax continues to find that the long trapped hallway just doesn't make sense. He speaks to Alec about who says it was because it was a challenge. But Wax thinks it would be better to have the bands in an unassuming place where only the Sovereign would know about them if he really was to come back to get them. Wayne then appears and calls out to Wax, saying that Edwin had shown up wanting to talk and Marassi currently had a gun to his head. So do you agree with Wax that something seems off about this trapped fortress?
Something definitely seems off, for sure.
But what?
Don't know. Wax just says he feels like something's just weird about it.
Yep.
Like the motivation doesn't make sense. So I love how it's like an Indiana Jones style like
Yeah.
fortress.
I literally thought about it like a just long ass corridor that just,
I was waiting for the giant ball to come down and roll at them.
I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing was just a setup for all sides.
So you think it's like a fake out somehow?
Yeah. The bands of Mourning even were they ever there? You know?
Who knows? Everyone seems to think they were.
Everyone chasing after them seems to think they were.
Yeah. The set seems to think it are. The mass people seem to think they were. Wax seems to think that maybe they were here.
But maybe that's the purpose. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
To have them all there.
You think there's like?
But for what?
And there's like a third party here trying to trap them all.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It's Hoyd.
Hoyd just shows up like, "Hey guys, welcome to my little party. You guys are a little
My
late."
little
Glad you're all here. I'm so glad you're all here. Now I'm gonna take all of your powers.
I want a mask from you.
It's
your
heme allergy
king.
time. Let's bring out the spikes.
Stabby.
Be stabby.
So then we get our final chapter, chapter 25, where we continue with
What?
Wax's...
We didn't go to 26? Oh my god.
No, we didn't. We continue with Wax's point of view as he goes outside to see his uncle waiting patiently for Wax. Marassi was nearby with her rifle trained at Edwin's head. Edwin's people were a bit away, setting up tents and placing down piles of supplies. Wax agrees to let Edwin inside the fortress to speak, although he and Marassi both keep away from the doorway in case there's a shooter in the group of people nearby. Wax instantly notices that Edwin seems to be using one of the warming medallions as well. Wax then glances around to make sure Telson isn't going to instantly kill Edwin and sees that Wayne is watching her nearby. Edwin goes on about how he wishes he had known about the skimmer inside the larger airship and mentions how he believes the Savage had shown Wax how to use the medallions. Wax then asks why Edwin had given himself up to Wax as he is now under arrest. But Edwin just says that he is here to negotiate and that it's silly for Wax to arrest him. He says that even if Wax could get him back to Ellendale, he would be released quickly from custody. So what do you think about how Edwin considers the masked people savages?
It's just so what they think of them. So
It was kind of amusing to me because so fucking typical of his type of people, honestly.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about how confident Edwin was that things are going to continue to go his way and not Wax's?
sounds like he's got a plan.
What was the question?
What do you think about how confident Wax's uncle is about how things are going his way and not Wax's? He's like, "Oh, I'm not concerned. You're not going to get your way. Just play along."
We didn't get his reaction to it not being there because he didn't see it, right?
Yeah, it happens at the very end of the chapter when they find out the bands are gone. So yeah,
I'm hoping on anything, I really am, that he doesn't have them. And he's also like, what the fuck do you mean they're not there?
So Edwin then also reveals that he has 20 allomancers and 20 ferrochemists in his group outside, and that Wax is more in his custody than the other way around. He also mentions how they've already started digging out the airship. Waxon aims his gun at
I don't
Edwin.
understand how that's even like a thing. Like, how am I in your custody? I don't get that part.
Waxon aims his gun at Edwin, but Edwin replies that he isn't so important to the set that they wouldn't let him die just so they could kill Wax. Alec then speaks up when Edwin mentions the door at the end of the hallway, asking how he knows about this place. Edwin replies that Alec's captain had spoken to him and that she had the key to the doorway, and thus he now had it. Telson tells Wax not to listen to Edwin, but Wax allows Edwin to lead them to the doorway, although at gunpoint. Do you think it was smart to bring Edwin, or, I mean, I guess they kind of needed him to get through the door, but do you think they should have listened to Telson?
I'm not even gonna lie, if I were Wax, I would have shot him. I don't give a fuck if his fucking little Allomancer fucking army comes after me. I would have shot his ass on the spot. After all, who the fuck is most likely gonna make it out? Melan? Melan would make it out.
Melan probably would make it out, yeah. She could probably just hide in one of the pits or something until they're gone.
Absolutely not the pit! Not the pit!
Not the pit!
How the fuck is she gonna get back out?
That's true.
Definitely hide in the pit. You're not wrong.
I was just thinking that'd be a good spot to hide.
No, Midnight. That's how you die. Midnight would probably be the fucking type
she
to
can,
like.
She can goop her way up
nah.
like Tensoon does in the
Midnight.
last book. She can just goop the way up.
If there's a killer after you, you don't hide in the oven. Okay? You don't hide in the oven. You don't hide in the freezer.
They won't know she's
Why,
there.
Why not? Why wouldn't you hide in the oven? Nobody's gonna look there.
A little chair and then a fucking like turn of a knob and she's done.
So once they're at the door, Edwin tells Wax what symbols to push on with his allomancy, and if you get the wrong order, the door freezes up for 10 years. He also says the symbols somehow spell out something only the Lord Ruler would know, but Alex still shrugs and says he doesn't understand how it's a language or what it says. So what do you think about the fact that this wall will just, like, stay locked for a whole decade if you get the combination wrong?
Great feel safe, to be honest.
Wait, what?
They say that this, like, stone wall, like, door thing, if you get the combination wrong, it, like,
oh, yeah,
you can't
for
redo it for, 10 years.
Yeah. What was the combination?
It was, like, there was, like, a bunch of symbols on the wall, and you could push on them with your allomancy. And so it was, like, he was, like, press these 3 in this order, and it opens the door.
Okay, but, like,
I think it was, like, a circle, a triangle, and a square or something.
Oh my god, Squid Games.
Funny.
Yeah, what were the first 2 symbols? I don't even think it says what the final symbol is. It just says he pushed on the final symbol. Yeah, so he pushes on an engraved circle first, and then the one with the triangular shape. And then, yeah, he just points to another one and says, and then this one.
I'm getting a sense of deja vu. And I have no idea why, but it feels like we've been here before.
Okay. Anyway, so the wall then slides open, and Wax stops Edwin from going inside. He has Melan go in first to check for traps, but nothing seems to activate. Once it was cleared, the others went in, leaving Wax and Edwin alone. Wax continues on about how he'll make Edwin reveal the names of the other set members, but Edwin replies that the government that Wax follows is just as bad as his people. Marassi then calls Wax over, and he and Edwin wander towards a dais in the middle of the room, glowing with white light, on top with a broken glass box and an empty red velvet pillow. Everyone was quiet as Wax stated that someone got there before them. So what do you think about the bands of mourning being gone already?
What was the question, sorry?
What do you think about the bands of mourning being gone?
How far past the door do you think it was?
It sounds like they went down like a really fucking long hallway. It sounds like they're all the way at the back of the temple.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna just say they were never there.
You think it's like a whole fake out? This like broken glass box?
Or maybe they were there, but like maybe they got taken like 10 years ago.
Maybe the Sovereign already came back for them?
I wouldn't say them specifically, but somebody definitely did, and it was not recent.
Do you think they've been gone for quite a while?
Yeah.
You agree, Mythic?
Yeah, I think they weren't there. Yeah. I think it's a fake out for sure.
The Sovereign did what Wax suggested, just put them in some random unassuming place that no one would think to look.
Yep.
Alright, so we've got our overview questions, which is, first of all, how do you think Edwin is going to react to the bands of mourning being gone?
Oh, that's great. That was literally one of my fucking
Yep.
I hope he was like, what do you mean they're not there?
It's gonna be like searching the room, like they've gotta be here somewhere.
It's funny because, like, he's not the top dog, right?
No, he's not.
We gotta find out who the fuck it is. Watch it be like another fucking Conjure.
It's actually Rayler. He just doesn't remember.
Don't say that shit, cause don't say it. No. No, Midnight. You can't be talking like that, cause then I'm gonna actually believe it.
What do you think, Mythic? How do you think Edward's gonna react?
It'll be great. I think he's gonna love the fact that they're not there anymore.
I imagine him just having a little temper tantrum. He's just like stomping his foot on the ground, be like, "They must be here."
Wait, what happened to the sister?
The sister's still there too. The sister hasn't reacted either.
How has she not fucking shot the guy?
Right? She's like, "They're not even here." Boom. Also, how do you think Alec and like his people might react? Like,
I hope his people are extinct. Not gonna lie.
wow, that's fucked up.
He deserves it.
Wow, Alec's a good guy. He seems like a good guy.
He's a terrible person.
I think he's like basically Darkness's age. I think Morassi says at one point he's 22.
Oh my god,
What?
wait.
Darkness
is he
isn't
single?
22. Darkness isn't 22. Darkness is like 17.
I would like to confirm that I am 17 for anybody,
Yeah.
listening.
Yep.
I actually got what, 2 weeks before my birthday? Or a little bit less?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on the 15th.
Same.
And then I'm gonna be
Oh.
18.
I'm sure you're gonna be 18. Definitely not gonna be 47.
If I'm 47, then you're like fucking 93. Don't even.
What the fuck? Also, where do you, we kind of talked about this already, but so you guys think the bands of mourning are potentially just like, they're not with the sovereign, but they're maybe just like hidden somewhere else?
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if someone has them already.
Mm.
But I would much rather them be hidden somewhere else.
I
Yeah.
see.
Sort of like, the situation with the pools.
How like Ruin's perpendicularity was like hidden in the pits of Hassan.
Yeah.
All right, and so next episode is going to be our final episode. So we got our end of book questions, such as, how do you think the book is going to end?
Gonna die.
Mm,
Uncle gets away.
I'm gonna say, you know what? Yeah, no. I'm gonna say Melan turns evil.
Okay.
Or reveals she's evil. I'm gonna say she takes, what's her name? She takes Wax's sister,
Oh, Telson? Okay.
yeah, as her girlfriend, and they leave.
Okay.
Marassi remain half conjure and full conjure,
Okay.
and try to help out with, the situation of getting the bands of mourning, even though they're not fucking there. So they're
Mhm.
trying to figure it out, along with Wax. Starius is gonna pull the fuck up, and she's gonna, actually do shit. She's gonna be like, maybe I am useful, and she's gonna like raise her scale up.
Okay.
The uncle's actually not gonna run away. He's gonna be like, "Can I join your group? Because where the fuck is the things?"
Okay.
And then that's gonna be one of the reasons this is gonna leave as well.
Okay.
I'm making my own little story, honestly, at
Yeah, you
this
are.
point.
And
But
there's
you
what,
know what?
four
It'd be great
four
if it ended
chapters
up like
left?
this.
There's 4 chapters, right?
No, there's 7 chapters, but they're all pretty
Oh,
short.
okay. So there's 7 chapters and all of that, and in all of that, Darkness's theory is going to come true. Totally.
That can literally happen in like 3 chapters.
Gotcha.
And you said you think
I
the
the
uncle's gonna
sis-
die?
no, I think the sister's. I think the sister's gonna fucking
Shoot
end
him.
up being a traitor.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure.
And that the uncle's actually going to be the good person for in some way,
Oh, okay.
even though I don't think Wax is going to care. And then I mean, I think that's about like all I can think of. I don't really give a shit about what happens to Wayne and
Ooh,
his
ooh.
Condra
wait.
girlfriend.
Never mind.
Okay. Do you think anyone's going to die, and if so, who?
Nobody dies.
Wayne
Nobody
is gonna.
dies.
Wayne.
They all go to. They just go to the Shadow Realm and they'll come back later.
Okay.
Shadow Realm.
Yep, the Shadow Realm.
What if Wayne
And
gets killed and then he reveals he's a conjure?
Ah.
then he turns into goop.
We didn't get his reaction from the acid, huh?
Hmm.
No, he didn't see the acid. Or I guess he would have had to
Exactly.
pass it on the way over to this room, but you might not know it was acid. Also, for the next book, do you think the masked people are going to play a bigger role now that, like, potentially if our characters, like, end up back at Ellendale, like, they'll potentially, like, tell people, like, oh, hey, there's, like, a whole nother, like, civilization to the south.
Maybe. I wouldn't say right away. Definitely. So I feel like if they make it out of this fine, right, after, and then the word spreads of the civilization, they're going to go from there to the civilization, and the civilization back to Ellendale and stuff like that, and they're going to be sharing technology. And that's how it's going to advance, and, how it's going to get to where it's supposed to be, and maybe beyond. Because if they're already using Allomancy to power a machine to fucking fly,
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know what other technology they have. Like, who knows what their like cities are like.
We got a modern day
Nah,
era.
they're just a bunch of savages.
Damn. We're not gonna have like a fully modern day era, but we're gonna have like late 1900s style era, I think, as the third era. It's like Cold
Uh,
War style, is what Brandon I think has said before.
no, I want like fucking some mistings in
Cell
this prince to
phones?
start doing TikToks and shit.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any TikTok or anything in the next era. I think it might be pre-internet still.
I want them to talk about how the Lord Ruler got canceled.
Right.
Oh my
Uh,
god,
Or
wait!
cancel, or they're gonna cancel Kelsey.
Wait, I just realized they're all gonna be knocking on from like door to door like Mormons and shit.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Kelsier?
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, the Lord Ruler?
That would be me, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you guys
Have
have
you
any
heard about
more?
our Lord and Savior, not a single God in existence?
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Trell?
I was gonna say that.
And then some world hopper comes over. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior cultivation? Or like
Heard of
one
our
of the
Lord
other
and
ones.
Savior? What's the God that got split altogether? You know.
There's
I
been a
can't
few
remember.
splintered gods.
No. The original
Oh,
God.
Adonasium.
Yeah. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Adonasium? That would be
You
Hoyd.
think they're gonna start passports for interworld traveling?
I don't know. They don't seem to have any so far.
New passports.
I
Yep, they
mean,
need passports for sure.
I mean, Harmony's gonna be like, what the fuck is the point of moving this shit if they're just gonna keep going through it?
Did you guys have any other thoughts and theories for the end of
Wait,
this
no,
book? Oh,
I'm being so for real. Why the fuck do the gods just put the perpendicularity so far away from like everything and like just hide it?
I think because I guess they don't generally just don't want people like finding it most of the time.
But why? Like, what the fuck is it gonna do?
I don't know.
Personally, if I were a god, right,
Mhm.
and I had people whose powers derived from me, and they could spread the word of my religion to other worlds through a little portal, I would be sending bitches left and right.
Well, I remember in the final Empire, apparently the Lord Ruler was like trading with off-worlders. He was like trading like canned food to people. Because in Mistborn Secret
That,
History, they mentioned how like I think Hoyd tells Calcier like, "Hey, you like fucked up a lot of interworld like trade and shit by like fucking up the pits of Hathin."
that's what I'm saying, bro. He's like so on point. Like, he was correct. He was the true god.
Yeah.
He is a true God. You're not wrong.
But yeah, any other thoughts and theories about the end of this book?
All I know is I don't trust Meilon. I don't trust his sister. Wayne is Kanja. Merassi's half Kanja now.
Okay.
And then the uncle's gonna do something unexpected, probably join them.
Mm.
Oh, and then that mask guy, not my husband.
He's not your husband?
Now.
I don't know.
Just
It
for
sounds
this
like you
book.
like him.
I said now.
But you liked
Just for this
Kaladin the
book.
best.
Yeah, I'm saying just for this book. You know,
Mhm.
I gotta have one for each world.
I
Oh
see, I
my
see.
God.
All right,
At
so
the end, no, you remember how we were like, oh, it's gonna be like a competition at the end of like all the, people from each world, like their heroes or whatever, and they're gonna
yeah.
fight. It's not. It's gonna be all my husbands fighting for me.
Okay. All right,
That's
so
it. That's all the theories.
okay. So next episode will be our final episode. We'll be doing chapters 26 through to the epilogue, obviously. And then, yeah, so that'll be our final one. And then we'll be moving on to The Lost Metal, which is our final Mistborn book that's out right now. So look forward to that next week. Thank you to Hubris, Kaladin Dyson Book 3, Kyle, and Lawrence for being our Patreons. We appreciate you very much. And we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.